Hi, Tony. All right.
Hi, Adam. You okay?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, fine, thanks. Yeah. Nice sunny day for a change.
I know it just makes everything feel a bit less grim, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's nice. You missed the sun when it's not out.
Sorry.
I said you
Oh
missed the
yeah, but
sun.
when it's at, yeah. So that's why everybody likes to go abroad, doesn't it? Where you've got more chance of blue sky.
No, exactly. I toured Scotland in the summer in between
Yeah,
lockdowns. And I think it didn't rain for 4 days of the 2 weeks I was there, which is
yeah,
amazing. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah.
Rain.
Yeah, it makes such a difference when the sun's out, doesn't it? Just perks you up quite a bit. Uh,
Is that you, Jill? Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Jill. You okay?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. I'm good. Thanks.
Hi, Jill.
Hi.
Right, we can get started then. Louise won't be joining, so we'll just get straight into it.
Do I need to start my video? Oh, there we are. Hi, Tony.
Hello there. All right.
Yeah, you.
There we go.
Thanks. Yeah.
So let's just go over what we went over last time. Let's recap things. Is that all right?
Yeah, I wasn't here last week, was I though?
That's all right. We'll go over 2 weeks before and then we'll just progress.
Okay.
So can you read this bar for me, please, Jill?
CFCA.
Yeah, Tony?
You got GGFE.
Yeah, okay. This one, Jill?
DDCB.
Yeah. Oops, I moved that. Yeah, this bar, please, Tony.
You got ACDG.
Yeah. So without a time signature being present, what time signature are we in?
4/4.
4/4. Yeah. How do we know it's 4/4?
There's 4 crotchets to a bar.
4 crotchets. How many quavers could we fit in a bar of 4 crotchets?
8.
Would be 8.
8. Right. So just a little exercise for you. So, Jill, in this bar, we've got 2 crotchets and a quaver. How can you fill the rest of the bar? What are the possible notes that we could fill it with?
You could put another quaver and a crotchet, or 4 quavers.
Yeah, or 4. Well, 3 quavers.
Or 3 more quavers. Yeah, 3 more quavers.
No, that's right. That's right. Okay. So, Tony, what else could you fill this bar with?
You've got I'm going to say that unless you start changing the rest. Are you thinking of changing the rest?
Yeah. So if we imagine the rest isn't there, so I'll delete that.
Oh right, okay,
What
yeah.
else can we fill this
Well,
with?
okay, you've got a minimum. You do another minimum,
Yeah.
or you could have 2 crotchets,
Yeah.
4 quavers.
Yeah. So we understand time signatures. We can read music. That's fine. So what about if we go into bass clef?
Yeah.
The joys of bass clef.
This slows things down a lot.
Yes.
No, that's all right. That's fine. So this note is what?
That's C.
Middle C. So we have middle C there, and we have middle C there. One note above C is D.
Yeah.
Same thing. One note above C is D. So can you read this bar for me, please, Jill?
Oh, so you have to go 2 notes down. So, oh my God. Do you have 2 notes up or 2 notes down?
So if we read it as if it was treble clef, it would be 2 notes down. So this is C.
Oh, so A, that would be A.
Yeah, A, C.
B, G.
Nearly. If that's C, what's one note above C?
Where are we up to? The blue one.
Yeah. So this is
D.
C.
That's
Next
C.
note?
D.
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 Yeah. This one.
Oh,
Take your time with it. There's no rush.
what's the anagram?
Got middle C. Then we'd have B, A. A is the top line, and then one below the top line. What's below A?
G. G.
G. G. Okay.
I've got
Tony?
a point of pencil. I've got a point of pencil and start counting up all the time when it gets into that bass clef.
Tell you what, if it makes it easier, let me just find.
What I've been doing is where I know A in the treble clef is C in the bass clef. I look at that and then start counting.
See if this makes it any easier for you guys. So we've got a piano in front of us. There's middle C, D, low G, you know, just as a sort of visual aid. So Tony, these notes here, what are they in this bar?
In that bar, so you got F, the first one,
Mm-hmm.
E,
Yeah.
and then you've got that's C, B, so A,
Mm-hmm.
one below that, which is going to be G.
Yep. Fantastic. Okay, Jill, last one.
Just takes an age to work it out.
I know. So the first one B,
Yep, that's B.
then D,
Yep.
and that's E, G,
Yep.
and D, E, F.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're good at, so we know the note values and we can read the notes. So in terms of basic music theory, we've done that. So now we go into more advanced stuff and we go into harmony. So this is what we started last week, Jill.
Okay.
So this is C. Now, the way we build harmony is harmony cannot be one note on its own. It can't be. That is melody. Melody is consecutive notes following along after one another. Melody, you know, you can't sing two notes at once. Harmony is the opposite of that. That is two notes at once. Now, any two notes together can make harmony. And the most common harmony is a chord made up of thirds. Now, chords you play on piano, guitar, not the instruments that we play, because we're not cool enough for that. So we just play one note at a time. But instruments that do play chords stack them in thirds. And this is called a triad. Triad, three notes stacked in thirds. Now, the way you build up a chord is you start off with what we call the root. Now, we call it the root because it's kind of like a tree. At the bottom is the root note. The base of the chord is built from the root. Now, here we're going to use the root note C. Now, if we build things up in thirds, what is a third up from C? If C is 1, what is 1/3 above C?
C, D, E.
E, yeah,
E.
fantastic. Okay. Another third up from E.
G.
G.
G, fantastic. And there we have a chord of C. All you do is start with the root note, up a third and up a third again. We won't go into the types of thirds just now. We'll just get used to thirds in general. So, Jill, could you build me a chord on A, please?
So the root one is A.
Mm-hmm.
A, B, then C.
Yeah, fantastic.
B, D, E, and then E.
Great. Okay. One more for me, please, Jill. Let's do it on F, please.
So F, A.
Yeah.
C.
Fantastic. So we understand the basics of a chord. It's built on thirds. Now, thirds come in two categories. They can either be a major third, which sounds happy. You know, we associate major with happy, or it can be a minor third, which sounds sad. Now, the difference between a major chord and a minor chord They're both actually made of the same intervals, just inverted from one another. Now, if we look at C major, we'll start with C major. The distance between C and E is 4 semitones. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. The first note, upper semitone, counts as 1. So C to C sharp is 1, C sharp to D is 2, D to D sharp is 3, D sharp to E is 4. That is a major third. 4 semitones equals major third. So a major chord is made up of one major third, and that happens on the bottom of the chord between the root and the third. That is a major third. Now the third to the fifth, E to G, is a minor third, and that's because it's 3 semitones. E to F, 1 semitone, F to F sharp, 2 semitones, and F sharp to G, 3 semitones. So the way we make a major chord is we have a major third on the bottom and we have a minor third on top.
Right. Why? I'm going to say.
Mhm.
Why is that? Why is it going to? Why isn't it major all the way through?
So if it's major all the way through, Tony, we end up with a bit of a jazz chord called an augmented chord.
All right.
An
You're getting
augmented chord.
complicated now.
No, not at all. Not at all. Ask away. So if we make the minor third on top major, so this chord.
D.
Oh, sorry. I'll tell you what, I'll make it like that just so we just hear it. So this is a C major chord. If your volume's up, you'll be able to hear it. Quite pleasant. Quite a, major, happy sounding chord. Now, if we do what you said, Tony, we make it entirely of major intervals. How would we make E to G a major interval? At the minute,
You move
it's
it
a
up a
minor third.
move it up a semitone, would you?
Yeah, move the G up a semitone, make it G sharp. And this is what that would sound like. This is an augmented chord.
No, can't hear that. But anyway,
Is the sound not coming through?
no,
No.
not for me. Your sound is coming through, but not the note.
All right. Share screen. All right, I'm not sure why that is. But if you make
Yeah, I heard
that,
that.
it becomes a jazz chord, essentially.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So you need that imbalance of major and minor to create a major chord. Now, if that is a major chord, a major interval, and a minor interval on top, if a minor chord is an inversion of that, then what is a minor chord? What intervals is that made up of?
Minor chord. That would be what, 3 and then 4.
Yeah, that's it, Tony.
3
Yeah.
semitones and 4 semitones.
Yeah. So a quick way to do that is this is C major. How do we make it C minor? We flatten the third. So now instead of 4 semitones between the root and the third, we have 3. 1, 2, 3, and we have 4 between the third and the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense, Jill?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, we'll put it to the test.
I think it's just when you're talking of major, I just assumed it was, shall we say, all major rather than a major and minor.
Yeah. So it's
But
made
I've
up. It's made up
not
of two
done
intervals.
any. I've not done any theory on chords at all, so this is all new to me.
Yeah. No, of course. And the thing about playing the woodwind instruments like we do is we don't know about chords.
Yeah.
Because we don't play them. But this is just basic harmony. It's not, it's nothing difficult, I promise. Once you get your head around it, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, Jill, can you tell me if this chord is major or minor? And just take your time with it. So the keyboard is here for reference, and all you got to do is count the semitones.
Don't know.
Okay. So what is a major third? How many semitones is that, Jill?
4.
4 semitones. Okay. So F to A, we're going to count the semitones. So F to F sharp is 1.
1.
F sharp to G.
2.
G to G sharp.
3.
G sharp to A.
4.
That means it's a major chord.
Right. Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
Okay, so is
Yeah.
this chord major or minor? Take your time
So do
with
you
it.
have to
No,
count? Do you have to count them? You have to count them all, or do you
no,
just go on?
just the bottom three will be enough to tell you. Sorry, just root to third is enough to tell you.
See, I can't play the piano, so I don't even know the notes on the piano.
Okay, so just count the gaps between the highlighted notes. So 1, 2, and then 3. So
Oh,
this
so
is
that's the
that's the minor.
I think what tends to be confusing is that often when you're sort of looking at scales, it's where you start from, counting the first note or counting the second note. When I was looking at that, I was counting the D, starting off the D sharp 1, then D sharp, then to E, and then to D sharp, and then going 1, 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
taking it to the D, not starting on the D itself. Does
right.
that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
if
sometimes when
actually
you're
if starting
counting,
on, go on. Sorry, Tony.
well, I was going to say, when you on some of the bits of theory, you actually start on the first note and count that as 1.
Yeah. Whereas
Whereas
with semitones, it's the
yeah,
gap. It's the
yeah,
gap in between. So D to F, D to D sharp is 1, D sharp to E is 2, E to F is 3.
yeah. I think
That
the
would be
key
a
word
minor
there you
chord.
said was the gap,
Yeah,
and I was counting the notes rather than the gap.
yeah, yeah. It's the movement between them
Yeah,
counts as 1.
Oh.
Okay, that's
yeah.
fine. So let's just do one more. So Jill, is this major or minor? There we go. So it's the blue highlighted notes and you're counting the gaps in between them. Is it major or minor?
G, D, E, F, G, A, B. So G. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first one's 4.
Yeah, so it's major.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Again, with music theory, the answers are all there. You know, once the rules are in place, you can't bend them. So in the key that we're in the key of C. No sharps or flats. Do you guys know about key signatures at all?
Yeah, we should do.
Yeah. Okay. So in the key of C, or in any key actually, there's 7 chords, 7 different chords.
Yeah.
The first chord or the first note actually in a scale is called the tonic.
Yeah.
Tonic is also called the root. So in the key of C, like we're in, C is the tonic or the root.
Yeah.
D is the supertonic. That's the second degree of the scale, the supertonic.
Yeah.
E is the mediant.
Yeah.
F is the subdominant. Now, this is only in the key of C. If you assign these to numbers, 1 will always be the tonic, 2 will always be the supertonic, 3 will always be the mediant, and so forth. So the fifth note, what is the fifth note in the key of C, Tony?
G.
G. G is called the dominant.
I'm not going to ask you why you got these names. I'll just accept it as it is.
ask monks from the 14th century.
No. I'll accept it.
A is the supermediant. And B is the leading note. Now it's called the leading note because there's a semitone between that and the root, and naturally it wants to resolve. Now, in a major key like we are, the tonic the subdominant and the dominant are the only major chords. None of these other chords are major. Only 3 of them are major. And that is the tonic, which would be C. What is the subdominant, Jill?
F.
F would be major and G would be major. Chords 1, 4, and 5. Every other chord is minor. So D, you know, the supertonic is minor, the mediant, the supermediant, all minor. Now, chords can be spread, and usually will be spread, between the bass clef and the treble clef. So it's not sort of uncommon to see chords like this. Now this first chord is still a chord of C major because we have C in the bass, E, and G. Same with this one. We have D in the bass, we have F, and we have A. These are all still the same chords. It's just they're written between 2 clefs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Does that make sense, Jill?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, the reason you'd put a note in the bass clef is because the lower pitch enhances the sound. It makes it sound fuller. The string has more room to vibrate usually, so it just sounds a bit fuller. Now, at the same time, you could also have the chord look like that. And that is still just a chord of C major. We have C, we have E, and we have G. Does that make sense?
Yeah, on the where that's written, because you said before, the fact that we've actually got C in the bass clef, okay, because that's not middle C, is it?
No, that's 1 octave below middle
That's
C.
one octave below, yeah. So that's giving you a deeper sound.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
So if I said, what is the dominant in the key of C? What's the answer?
Keys, it's look at me, that's G.
Yeah. What would be the median, Jill?
E.
E. Fantastic. So the key of C has no sharps or flats in it. But I'm going to introduce you to a concept, which is basically what music theory is founded on and made of, called the circle of fifths.
The answer to everything.
Basically, this is your musical Bible, right?
Yeah.
So the key of C has no sharps or flats. And the way we travel between keys is by going to the dominant or the fifth. So C has no sharps or flats. What is 1/5 above C? 5 notes above C. C counts as 1.
G.
G. Now, when we get to this new key, we sharpen the 7th note. So what would the 7th note of G be, Jill?
G, A, B.
A cheat way to do the 7th, by the way.
F.
1 note
F.
down. Yeah, exactly. Now, just to prove what I'm saying, that the key of G has an F sharp in it. G major, 1 sharp. And it's on the F line. Now, if we keep going round the circle of fifths, what is the next key, Jill, from G?
F.
Nearly. So start on G. G is 1 and go 5 notes up. So G,
Oh, I see. G.
A,
G, A, B, C, D, E.
nearly D. G, A, B,
G,
C,
A,
D.
B, C, D.
Now, if we
Oh,
get
right,
to
yeah.
D and we sharpen the 7th, what's the 7th note of D, Jill?
D, E, F, G, A, B, C.
C. Fantastic. And there we have C sharp and F sharp because the keys continue on. Tony, what is the next key going to be in the circle of fifths? So we have C, G, D. Next key.
Key of A, isn't it?
A. The 7th in A would be?
G.
G.
G sharp.
A major, and we have a G sharp. And this continues. And another way, I'm sort of teaching you the cheat rules here, but another way to work out what key you're in is go a semitone up from the last sharp. So the last sharp here is C sharp. In the key of D, the last sharp is C sharp. A semitone up from C sharp is D.
Yeah.
Same as in G. What's a semitone up from F sharp? G. In A, semitone up from G sharp is A. This is all different ways to work out what key you're in. So what is the next key going to be, Jill, from A? So A is 1, B would be 2. So what's the dominant of A?
E,
E, fantastic. And what would the 7th of E be that we're going to sharpen?
G,
Nearly. One note
D.
down from E is the 7th.
F,
That's up.
D.
So we go one the other
A.
way around. D.
Them all out till we get the right answer.
It's all right. D. And we have a
D.
D sharp. The 7th has been sharpened again. So if a piece begins with 2 sharps, we know it's in D major. If it begins with 4 sharps, we're in E major. So where are we? Here. So in D, what would the dominant be?
In D, the dominant.
B,
Nearly 5 notes up from D.
D, E, F,
G.
A.
A, fantastic. Yeah. Oh, nearly, Tony. She beat you there.
Yeah. I count slower.
So there we have the dominant chord in D, a chord of A. What would the tonic chord in D be?
D,
The tonic
D.
D. D.
Exactly. Now, how would we build a chord from D?
So you've got your 3rd and your 5th from that.
Yeah, which would be?
Are we going into the treble then, don't we? Yeah, treble
Yeah.
clef. So you've got D there, D. F,
Yeah.
A.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay. So, Jill, could you give me a minor chord in the key of D, please? Any minor chord.
F,
Yeah, F sharp, but yeah, F sharp. And then how would we build the rest of the chord? So we've got the root. We just need the 3rd and the 5th.
Presumably just got your three semitones, isn't it?
Yeah, but because we're staying in the key, you just got to count 3 notes up. So F sharp, G,
G.
A.
Yeah.
Another 3 notes up from A, Jill.
C,
A, B, C. Done.
B, C. So C,
Now, just
which would be C
As a
sharp,
way-
wouldn't it?
yeah, C sharp. We're in the key of D, so yeah, the C is naturally sharp.
Oh, sorry, yeah, it's automatically, yeah.
So how would we analyze this bar? How would we assign these chords to numbers in the key that we're in? What would the first chord be? A chord of A would be what number?
1.
What key are we in?
We're in the key of D.
Right. So if we're in the key of D, we work out the chord's relationship to that key. So D will be 1.
Oh, right, yeah, D.
Which would
Right,
make
so
A.
D. Yeah. 4.
D counts as 1.
Yeah.
So it would be 5.
D. E, F, G. D. Oh, yeah. Yes, I can't count the alphabet. Yeah. Gone from D, F, G rather than D, E, F, G. Yeah.
This will be called 5.
That doesn't help. That doesn't help. You don't get the alphabet right.
So we write these in Roman numerals, and a major chord will always be a big numeral, and a minor chord is a little numeral. And I'll explain that in a sec. So the second chord, what is the second chord? So the root note is what, Jill?
B,
D. This
Yes.
F,
and A. So we have a chord of D in the key of D. So what number would this be?
D,
So this would be the tonic, or number one. Now, the reason that is number one is because in the key of D, this is the chord of D. Therefore, this is the tonic chord. Does that make sense?
D, D, F, A.
Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always wondered about the Roman numerals, and I mean that explains it.
Yeah, exactly. So this last one,
Yeah.
what chord would this be, Jill?
So that's C, A, B, C, D, E.
So we've got F sharp in the bottom.
Where's it F sharp? C, D.
F sharp, yeah.
And we have an A and we have a C. So it's a chord of F sharp. Now, what chord is that in relation to D? What number? If D is 1?
3.
3. Now, is 3 in a major key? Is it major or minor?
That's minor, isn't it?
It's minor. And we would notate that like that. In non-capitalized Roman numerals.
Right.
So the way we would analyze this phrase is in the key of D, we have a 5-1-3 progression. Now, progression just means a series of chords, and the 5 because A is the fifth or the dominant of D. D is the tonic or the root in the key of D, so that's number 1. And F sharp is the third chord in D, the mediant. Now, the reason we don't use capital letters for these is because it's minor, and this signifies a minor chord. So for chord 6, that would be written as chord 7 would be like that as well. The non-capitalized Roman numerals mean minor, and the capitalized mean major. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think for me, it's just working those out, practicing working those out.
All it is practice, Tony. Yeah, it'll just take time.
Yeah. But having actually got that in a piece of music,
yeah,
what does that do? You know, what does that give the musician as opposed to not having the Roman numerals?
So if you have Roman numerals instead of notes, all you need to do is read the numerals. So you would know 5 in the key of D is A, 1 is D because it's the tonic, and 4 would be G. Or
right.
6 would be B.
Yeah.
B minor.
Yeah.
So rather than having to read music, you can actually just sort of delete this, knowing you're in the key of D, and just play chord 5, which would be A, chord 1, which would be D, and chord 6, which would be B minor. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Bill?
Yeah, it does.
You got to know those. Yeah.
So that's it, guys. We're done for this week. Is there any questions?
That's good stuff, that.
I know it's difficult. I know it is difficult, but I'll send out a worksheet tomorrow.
Yeah.
With a few more of these on it, just to keep it in practice. You know, don't use it, you lose it, kind of thing. If you have any questions at all, email me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
Oh.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Adam.
All right, thanks very much. Take care.
Thanks a lot. Cheers,
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.